David Moore, Dallas Morning News. He's talked about the way the offense came out in the second half and the focus and execution you had from that point forward.
Yeah, I mean, we got off of our own feet. Excuse me. We stopped stepping on our toes, making self-inflicted mistakes. Didn't turn the ball over, and we're able to get in that rhythm, get back to what I talked about in the past. Our standard and expectation, and pretty much scoring on every drive, except the last one, and then the nil possession, going out there and kneeling, and that's what we're capable of doing when we're heightening our focus, executing in between the whistle and just finishing, and that's what we. That is our standard, and that's what we're going to hold each other to. And when we're not doing that in the first half, it's tough. But we understand that. This is the NFL, and it's tough. It's not going to always go our way and always be perfect, but we've got to be committed to each other, committed to our game plan, and just stay at it.
I got to ask, did you think the CD catch was a touchdown, and what did you think of whack-a-mole?
I definitely thought the CD catch was a touchdown. I mean, I went to the sideline, dropped my helmet and everything. So it was an amazing catch, regardless of his feet. His heel came down out of bounds or whatever that rule is, just a different rule. Sideline versus the end zone, don't quite understand that. A catch is a catch. And then the whack-a-mole was great. The guys told me about it earlier in the week. They were worried about getting fined or getting a penalty. We said, make sure you're up 2 touchdowns, and we got a couple of guys that can help with the fine, so go for it.
Dak James had not KSLA News 12. I wanted to ask about the efficiency on third down. The team was so efficient throughout the contest, and why was that so important for you guys in the second half especially?
Yeah, I mean, we're focused. We know this team can give some problematic looks. They definitely got us on 1 or 2 of them early. But then we obviously came into the halftime, made some adjustments, blocked some things up, got one-on-ones with our guys, and CD was big on third down, and not just him, the offensive line protecting, and it just goes into us focusing, understanding our job on third down and our responsibility, and then executing, and we're able to do that and get things going, and as I said, got in a roll and we're able to put some points up consecutively.
Follow-up, Michael Gallup was big in the first half on third down. So to see him get back and really kind of become more consistent, what does that say about him and where he's at?
Yeah, I talked about it last week. He's getting his feet back under him, and at this point, I think they're back under him, making a couple of tough catches, one-on-ones. The non-stop early in the first was a huge catch, and then just continuing that all game long, going back to him. He's showing up. That's who Michael Gallup is, and I'm glad he's gained that confidence back. And he's dangerous when he's got all that and it's back.
Zach Jory of Stone Yahoo Sports. You never want to have a game where you throw those kind of interceptions, but historically y'all haven't won most of the games where you've thrown multiple interceptions. What does it show to be able to come back from that? How important is it to make sure y'all can rebound like that?
Yeah, just understanding, as I've talked about, I'm going to be aggressive at times. Obviously, the first one was a close snap, thinking free play. I knew that it was close, didn't know if the flag came out or not. Tried to make a safer throw to the sideline. Guy just made a great play. I can't necessarily put the team in that position. And then at the end of the second half, just a little bit behind CD. But honestly, in a sense, where I wanted to go with the ball, kind of a bang-bang play. And, I mean, most of the time that ball's dropping to the ground. However, it bounces up. Just bad luck on my part. But I've got a risk versus reward. And just it says a lot about the resiliency of the team, of just sticking with it. Defense telling me, hey, we got your back, keep rolling. Offense understanding that those are 2 throws, and we're moving the ball just fine, but we're self-inflicted mistakes. So as long as we didn't do that, I wasn't too aggressive, and then we got the thing rolling.
One more. On that note, the tight ends had 3 touchdowns over 80 yards today. When you think about how they've increasingly become more prominent in the offense, at what point in the season or in the offseason did you realize that was going to be a plan, and how effective has it been?
Yeah, I'd say in training camp, obviously, having the relationship with Schultz, I guess you can go that into the offseason, realizing how much time we spent together, my trust in him, and then getting into training camp and seeing those young guys take on the responsibility, their roles, and do it with such confidence and eager to give them more and want to make more plays. 2 confident young guys, and they just went out there tonight and showed up. I mean, you've got Ferg jumping over people and making play after play. Peyton on the end around. They're just talented guys, and we've got to keep continuing to get those guys involved. And, it's fun. It's fun to see them get that whack-a-mole. I think that just speaks on the personality of the room and how much fun they're having and enjoying their jobs.
Dak, were you aware that you tied Roger Staubach with 10 consecutive victories of the Giants, most with the Cowboys, and I think Sonny Jurgensen or some other older quarterback has the most, tied with 10? And how does it mean to you? Does it mean anything at all, and were you aware of it?
I was not aware of it. I've been very aware that that was my only 2 losses my rookie year, and have kept that at the forefront of my mind since. But yeah, I mean, stats are meant to be broken. Stats are that's part of it. That's part of the game. But this isn't just me. That speaks to the defense. That speaks to the offense, special teams. Us as a team just continuing to lock in on division opponents, understanding what we have ahead of us, knowing that those guys draft and try to draft to combat our offensive line, loading up the D-line. It's just special, obviously, just to continue to dominate one team. But as I said, that's not just on me. That's a kudos to this organization, honestly.
Quick follow-up. Vintage Ezekiel Elliott today. Can you talk about Zeke's game today?
I mean, that's Zeke, vintage or not. I mean, to me, that's Zeke every week. A guy that'll do anything that he needs to do to help this team win, whether it's pass protection, whether it's running, whether it's the dirty work, being physical. I saw a quote, Zach Martin said he's the epitome of this team, and I definitely believe that. Just with his physical play style, his willingness to do anything. He's a brother of mine. Obviously blessed to come in and be with him these last 7 years. I joked with him later in the game and said, you got Ferg jumping over people, man. You're an inspiration to guys. And he laughed. I'm like, we're 7 deep. You know what I'm saying? You should take that as a compliment. So he's no surprise when Zeke does Zeke things.
Michael Gelkin, Dallas Morning News. Not to change the tone, but 4 false start penalties today. You guys have 14 of them in 6 home games. What do you make of that area and the need to improve it?
Yes, definitely a need to improve. We've got to be better in just the discipline, the focus. Obviously, when you're on the ball, there's a lot of communication, a lot of things happening. It wasn't the same guy over and over, obviously, so that's a good thing. But in the same sense, it shows how heightened our focus has to be each and every play. With so much communication going on, a lot of dummy calls, a lot of real calls, and just being locked in to the cadence. We can't have that. And when we have that, all of those drives, all of those penalties hurt us on those drives in some way or not. So we just got to be better. We've got to continue to go back to work, clean that up, clean up the communication. It starts with me, and we will get better at it.
The Giants' defensive coordinator is known for being one of the most blitz-heavy play callers in football. How surprised were you that they took that approach, even though they were without 2 starting corners? And was that why you were up there orchestrating at the line so much today?
Yeah, in a sense. Obviously, we realize with tempo, it puts those guys in a stressful position to get in all those looks and to get into their complicated calls. So, yeah, that was a part of the game plan. And honestly, I wasn't surprised at all. That's who he is. You can go back in his history for years, and that's who he is. And so as much as, we did think maybe he would come out a little conservative, and obviously with so many backups and them being in the position they were in, but once we saw it in the first couple of possessions, we knew that's what they were in. That was their game plan, and he was going to continue to call it. And so for us, it was about making those adjustments, getting locked in, and make sure we could dial up things to protect and create our matchups.
For a long time in this league, Dak, the thought process is around this time of year, you kind of get a gauge of what your team is. So with that being said, where do you think you guys are, and what do you need to do to get where you want to go?
Yeah, we've got to, first off, stop with the penalties. We got to be more disciplined. Stop hurting ourselves on drives and self-inflicted wounds, whether it be me turning the ball over, being too aggressive, or not on the same page as receivers. False starts, we've got to clean all that stuff up. But I'm as confident as I can be and always have been in this team. As I told y'all earlier in the week, that doesn't matter who says anything about what they believe in. I know what this team is capable of, especially with this defense that we have. So we just got to continue to keep our heads down, take it one day at a time, one game at a time. And as I said, we control everything that's in front of us.
Dak, Todd Archer of the ESPN. How expansive can you guys get with this tight end, the multi-tight end looks that you guys have?
Yeah, I mean, with those guys being as talented as they are, some different guys, faster guys, bigger guys, whatever it is, we can change some things up, get into some different looks, spread it out, come back in, you know what I'm saying, tight formations, run the ball, play action off of that. But that's all a good problem for Kellen, you know what I mean, to sit back and to get in the lab and to figure out the matchups that we can create, and I know he's going to do exactly that.
For Star Telegram, Jerry Jones told us he talked to Odell today. Do you increase the recruiting pitch this weekend?
He talked to him today? He's not stopping, which is good. I'm sure Jerry did a great job of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to enjoy this bye weekend, maybe send a message or so, but I'm confident in the guys we have. As I've told y'all, it would help, obviously, having a guy like that, but we've got some great players in that locker room, some guys that are hungry, there's guys that want to make plays. Michael Gallup getting his feet back underneath him, Noah Brown, who's constantly reminding me, you know what I'm saying, his matchups, what he's got on the other side. I'm confident in the guys that we have in this locker room. Odell can definitely help us, but for me, it's about focusing on what I can control. I feel like I've let it be known that he could help, but I'm not going to sit here and, you know what I mean, continue my time. I'm focusing on what we have in this locker room and these guys and just making sure I can control, and we continue to get better.
This ends a stretch of 3 games in 12 days. After losing that Green Bay game, can you talk about how the team responded to get to this point and get to 8-3?
Yeah, I mean, that loss hurt, not only because you want to get it for your head coach, but just in the fashion that we did it. Up a couple of touchdowns, losing the lead, then going in overtime, not able to convert, 3rd down, 4th down, giving 12 back the ball and him going to make plays and beating us. As I told y'all, we wanted to respond, and we did that last week. We were able to get off of our own feet in that first half, come back in the second half and respond to our own standard and expectation. So just proud of these guys, just keeping their head down, focusing on ourselves, focusing on how great we can be, and just trying to lay a perfect brick each and every play.
Dak, Haley Sutton, DallasCowboys.com. It feels like you guys are playing your best football coming out of halftime in the 3rd quarter. Is it conversations in the locker room, or you guys are just feeling refreshed in that 3rd quarter? What's kind of standing out and helping you guys?
I think that's a compliment to the whole staff and just to the whole team, honestly. Good in the first half, you see what people want to do, how they're trying to play us, whether it be offense or defense. Coaches are making fine adjustments, getting in, letting us know what they think, what we need to do moving forward. Us guys communicating out and then going and executing. And as I said, that's credit to not only the staff, but to just the whole team of everybody being locked in, making adjustments, staying committed to that, and believing in ourselves, and understanding how great of a team that we have. But, so it's impressive when we're able to do that.
We'll go to Jory and then finish with Michael.
Dak, you talked recently about the importance of laying these bricks. What was today's brick laid, if anything, and how can y'all propel with it?
It was a win. It was a win against a division opponent. And sometimes all that matters is the win. Ugly first half, sure, but defense gave us a chance. I mean, 13-7 in the first half, right? So just to hold them to that, allowing us to have some mistakes, to have some troubles, but to continue to be there for us, have each other's back. It was complementary football in that sense. When we weren't our best, they locked in and they held their own for us. And then we came out in the second half and got turnovers. They got a big 4th down stop. We rewarded them with the touchdown, and I think that just speaks to our trust to one another. As I said, those guys communicating across the ball, our accountability, our expectations on both sides of the ball, and it's great. We've got a great team, a great brotherhood, and a great culture. So when you're able to do that, it's special, and we can continue to move forward and try to lay those perfect bricks.
My question actually is about the defense. They've made a lot of focus on stopping the run with higher success. To do what they did today against that Russian offense, what are you seeing from them in terms of laying bricks toward their goals?
Yeah, that those guys just got to trust the process, and they definitely do that. The guys are going to make plays. They don't have to try too hard to make plays. Trust what Coach Dan Quinn's calling. Trust that the other 10 are doing their job, staying in their gaps, and when they do that, there's not much you can do on them. I practice against these guys day in and day out, and you know why teams want to run the ball against them. You can't get into a 3rd and long. You can't get into obvious passing downs against them because they're going to hunt. And that's their mentality. It's impressive. It's an energy that we get to feed off of on offense. And, just blessed to have a defense like that and just men who care so much about their job and doing their part. Thank you all. Happy Thanksgiving.